So I got my wisdom teeth removed.
You sure did.
I sure did. But it's only like my bottom teeth too, because like honestly the upper are not bothering me at all. So I was just like,
don't pay for it if you don't have to.
Exactly. It was like $800 and I don't have insurance, so actually I was expecting it to be more from the estimate they gave me, and yeah, I think they cut me some slack, so
that's good. I had to pay extra because I had 5 wisdom teeth that they had to take out.
Now wait, no. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
You had 5?
Yeah, I'm extra wise. Not anymore. They took it all out of my brain.
That explains the -1 modifier you have. Sorry.
Yeah, one of them, there was like a tiny one above one of the other ones. Yeah. And they had to take all 5 of them out, so it cost extra.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's whack. Okay, that was not what I was expecting. And I thought the things that happened at my dentist were weird.
Tell me the stories. You have a story that you've been wanting to tell me.
Alright, so when I'm going to start with... So I've had... Well, like technically last year, because guess what? It's 2020, and I got perfect vision.
That joke is made in the previous episode, too.
I've been making this joke for 2 years.
That's too many years. Go on.
Anytime anyone reminds me the decade was ending, I was like, oh, yeah, by the way. So,
okay.
It's like my Ferrero Rocher one. Anyway.
Your Ferrero Rocher?
I've never told you my Ferrero Rocher joke?
It's Ferrero, but yeah.
No, that's... Okay.
That's the joke?
No, it's not. That's the punchline of the joke.
Oh, okay.
So
that's how jokes work.
Yeah. Anyway, did you hear about that tomb they found in Egypt?
Which tomb?
It was like covered, it was like unopened. They found like all kinds of gold and stuff and like artifacts.
And chocolate?
But they found a mummy in there. But the mummy was like wrapped in like covered in chocolate and nuts. They think it's Ferrero Rocher. Anyway, Ferrero Rochers are my favorite candy. If anyone wants to send me them, you can send them to my address at...
You should have told me that sooner, because I got 2 of those 8 boxes for Christmas. 2, and I've got 4 left. 4, so I've eaten most of them.
I can't have them.
Oh, yeah.
Back to my teeth. Because of my teeth. Mm-hmm. I am on my last day of meds. One of my stitches came out the last night, so I am going to tentatively start incorporating more solid foods into my diet again.
I thought you were just going to straight up go for alcohol.
Tonight, listen. Listen, tonight I'm getting drunk, because it has been a while.
Fair.
And tomorrow morning I'm having apple pie for breakfast, because fuck everything. I miss apple pie. Apple pie is my favorite food in the entire universe, and I bought an apple pie with the intention of eating it the day before my thing, and then instead Chris and I had way too many appetizers, and then I didn't have room for apple pie, and I was like, oh, it's fine, I'll just have apple pie afterwards as a comfort food, and then I got there and I realized I couldn't eat solid food.
So sad.
Yes, it's a great travesty.
Sidetrack. I never know. What's the difference between travesty and tragedy?
Social class. One sounds more posh.
Like first world problems.
One just sounds more posh. Honestly, I don't know the definition. I'm gonna look it up right now because now I need to know.
I've thought about that for a long time and never remembered to look it up. So it's just been this background question in my life sometimes.
Well, I did the same thing the other day. I was like, what's the difference between inquiry and enquiry? Like one starts with an I-N, the other starts with an E-N. They're the same word. Exactly. All meaning, they're just different spellings of the same word.
That
and
tracks.
It fucking pisses me off.
I wonder if that's the same for this.
So, travesty, a debased, distorted, or grossly inferior imitation of travesty of justice. What?
I don't understand.
I don't understand. A grotesque or debased likeness or imitation. So it's like a really bad imitation of something.
And then a tragedy is a tragedy.
Tragedy is just a straight up tragedy.
I feel like people just also don't know what travesty means then, because I feel like people use travesty in place of tragedy, unless I'm just not remembering correctly.
Well, they do, for one thing, but I'm going to start using it, like, correctly, unironically now.
Yeah.
Because now that I know the meaning, that makes me feel superior.
I was wondering if you were going to go through with it.
I was going to be like, you know what? Let's rock and roll, baby.
2020, baby.
2020, baby. I just work here. That's the mood I'm bringing into 2020. I don't know, man. I just work here.
That's a good motto for life. Just be like, eh.
That's the energy I ended 2019 with, and that's the energy I started 2020 with. And honestly, it hasn't stopped.
It's a big mood.
I'm just kind of done. I just work here, bud. But yeah, no, okay. Back to my tea.
Back to those. That's one thing that hasn't changed is the tangents.
The tangents! No, God, no. I'm gonna name my 2 wisdom teeth the tangents. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you go to a dentist by your house.
Yes, I go to a dentist by my house, and I'm like, hey, I'm having problems with my wisdom teeth. I kind of want them, like, to examine. They're like, okay, well, we'll book you for... And I'm just like, well, it's kind of, like, really irritating me. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure, like, this is something that shouldn't be, like, pushed off. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, okay, whatever. So I come back within a week. And the first thing the dentist says to me when he walks into the room is, looks at my teeth, and he says, have you considered braces? I'm like, I'm here for my wisdom teeth. Like, that's a blue answer to a red question. So, goes to the exam, whatever, does the x-rays. The x-rays fucking hurt. Because like, I do not have much jaw space.
That's a big mood. I don't know if mine's as small as, like, I mean, we can't exactly compare mouth size experience.
I mean, we can.
Oh. But no, I have a small mouth too, and x-rays always fucking hurt.
I know, right? Like, it's just not. They were trying to, like, specifically because they were, like, trying to do the wisdom teeth. They were trying to get back there, and they were, like choking me, basically.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not great.
Yeah.
But they did the x-rays, they did the thing, and they're like, well, we're going to refer you to an oral surgeon because your wisdom teeth are on, like, right on. They're not, like, quite ruptured yet, and they're, like, right on some nerves, and it's just like, okay.
Luna's making herself very comfortable.
Luna is the only valid one here.
I am personally offended. No, I'm kidding.
Anyway, and so like they send off the referral. I pay the money, and then for like the 2 X-rays,
yeah.
And I wait.
And
I wait.
I don't know.
And I wait. So eventually, I call up the place, and I'm like, hey. I call up the oral surgeon. I'm like, hey, I was supposed to have been referred to you a while ago. I haven't heard anything back. And they're like, what's your name? I gave my name. And they're like, we haven't heard of you. I'm like, well, for fuck's sakes, these people never even, like, sent off my referral. So I go to the mall I work at, and there's a dentist's office right there. And I'm like, well, this can't hurt, right? So I pop in there, and I'm like, listen, here's my problem. Here's what's happened. What can you do? Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, we have a surgeon that works in here. Like, we have, like, one on staff, I mean, and, but, like, we could get the x-rays from them, so we wouldn't have to do more x-rays, blah, 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 so they worked it out, and they're actually really great, and I love them, and they've been wonderful, but I had to go to the hygienist first, before getting my thing out, because, like, you know, need a clean mouth so no infection, lessen the risk of infection, and also so it's clean. And my hygienist, she is so sweet, she is so bubbly. And she said, in these exact words, that I have, and I quote, a tight little mouth and angry little gummies. And she said that to me, and she said, that's why you must be having so much problem with x-rays.
I mean...
And she didn't even say it like, she said you have, like, a tight little mouth and angry little gummies. Like, so, she's so bubbly, and she said that thing to me while I'm lying on this table with her hands in my mouth.
That sure is something.
Sure is something. And I'm like, I don't know why you said that to me, but I don't, and even worse, I don't even know why I'm endeared to you right now.
Because Because it's just so pure. Like, it's not meant in any way other than just her having a good time and being so sweet.
Exactly. And it wasn't even out of character for her for the rest of the entire conversation she had at me while she was doing
yeah,
this.
That's
Dentists be like. So then I go and get my wisdom teeth out, and one of them, apparently the roots look like calamari, and the other one is just like kind of boring, but it's like they're huge.
Yeah.
And I glued them back together, and now they're like 2 big teeth that I have in a jar on my bookshelf. Now I need to track down my baby teeth, and I'll have them all together. Yay.
Yeah.
And then I can fight the tooth fairy for them.
Yeah. I think we have mine somewhere too. I just don't, like, not my baby teeth, my wisdom teeth, but I just don't remember where we put them.
That's fair. Yes. And like I told my mom, I was like, I can get my wisdom teeth. She's like, didn't even question me. She was like, great, now we can put them with your baby teeth. And I was like, I'm related to you because you're the only one who didn't double take when I said that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
My mom just expects these things from me now. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I would hope so after 20 some odd years.
25.
That's why I said some odd, because and I disagree about how to count age. We're born the same year. However, I am born in May, and Nick is born in August. I was going to say September because Virgo, but no, it's the cusp. And you say this is your 25th year living, and I get that, but you're also not 25 yet. We are 24 years old.
We collectively are 24.
we collectively are 24.
I just don't like the number 24.
That's fair, too. I also, every time I think about the fact that I'm 24, I'm like, I, for some reason in my brain, still think I'm 23 or 25. Like, my brain is kind of just blocking out the fact that I'm actually 24, because it's either...
You can't look directly at the number, your eyes just slide right off it.
Yeah, it's either, like, 23, which is, like, mid-early 20s, or 25, which is the quarter of a century.
Quarter of a century.
So my brain is, for some reason, just, like, not processing 24, but it still refuses to also say that we're 25 yet.
That's fair. We're like somewhere in that range, and it's kind of fucked up. It's kind of fucked up, yo. We are just as far away from 1990 as we are from 2050.
Yeah, I've seen that one a few times. It's strange.
Hi! Welcome to Liminal Spaces. I am called Nick. Or Nicholas. I don't know how to talk like a normal human person.
Every time we start this, we're always like, how do we talk? How do we speak?
How do introduction?
How do...
Hey Siri. Voice? Hey Siri. How do introduction? Let's see how many people that goes off on.
Luckily mine are set where, like, I
Voice.
have to be it's not voice, it's only the button still, so it didn't set mine off.
Hell yeah. I don't trust. Anyway.
Welcome to Liminal Spaces. I am that figure at the corner of your eye in the mirror. Adele.
And I am your observer on this sleepless night. Nick.
And yeah, this week we wanted to I wanted to talk a little bit about well, honestly, I didn't know what the heck to talk about because I'm back at school now, and it's been a lot.
Listen, we're going to get spooky on y'all.
But we're going to get spooky today. I literally just Googled urban legends, and I clicked the first website, and the first thing on the list was Bloody Mary.
Hell yeah.
We're not going to be talking particularly about Bloody Mary, but she'll probably make a bit of an appearance because it's relative to the topics.
That's the second time you said it.
Well, there's no mirrors in here.
There's a mirror in your room.
I thought it only counted if you were talking in front of a mirror.
Depends.
I've said it too many times now. Oh, God. Okay, anyways, I wanted to talk about why mirrors are portals, and now I'm going to have to throw my mirror out. But yeah, essentially, we both have a bit of a thing with mirrors, and that's because of a lot of urban legends and superstitions and myths and whatnot. Well, quote unquote myths, but they seem pretty freaky sometimes.
And they're pretty consistent throughout like a lot of cultures too.
Yeah. Even like it's one of those things that kind of goes back a long time. I think mirrors are these kind of things.
I think it's the idea of like not to get like too into it too quickly, but I think it's the idea.
Let's dive in.
Let's dive right in, baby.
Baby.
I think it's about like at least partially it's the idea of like seeing yourself, but it's not quite yourself. Yep. Like the reflection of yourself. Like how much of that can you trust, right?
Yeah, we're getting real into it real fast.
Listen, I have a lot of deep thoughts about mirrors.
Yeah, me too. Deep thoughts. Why
is that funny?
Because, like, deep THOT.
Oh. Oh my god. Deep thoughts. Is that like the opposite of a himbo? Is it deep thought?
Probably. I have an Eevee in my Pokemon Go game that is a CP42, and I named it Deep Thought, as in, like, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy Deep Thought, but spelt like THOT thought. It's anyways.
That's delightful.
Anyway, yeah, especially like I remember playing Bloody Mary when I was a child. I'm gonna fucking die tonight.
That's the third time. That's the third time since we started recording. So maybe that means something. I don't know.
But yeah, I remember trying to play it, and I don't remember specifically seeing anything per se. However, it was terrifying and set up a lifetime of fear of mirrors for me, and then just everything else I learned along the way only encouraged that.
Yep.
Particularly, once I started experiencing something called depersonalization, and for those of you who don't know, it's a form of dissociation where you feel disconnected from your body. And so that'll often, especially, Nick just gave a look.
Yeah, that would do it.
And so, like, especially, it often happens when I look at my hands, but it's more so, like, it'll happen where people will look in the mirror and won't recognize themselves in a way. And so that happens a lot. Not a lot, not as much for me anymore, but, like...
I mean, I felt that.
It still happens fairly often where I'll look in the mirror and it just doesn't look like I'm looking at myself in a weird way. Anyways, so that also did not help my fear of it. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff about, like, it being portals for ghosts and for spirits, and...
You can trap the spirit of a dead person in a mirror if you don't cover it during a funeral.
I haven't heard that. See, that's what I mean. Is like there's so many like weird little things about them that are just...
I think that one's I want to say that one's either Russian Orthodox or Jewish. I've heard that in both contexts. But like that's why they cover mirrors, is so that the spirit of the deceased doesn't get trapped in them. And that's actually a part of a story of what's the name of that? I think it's the Myrtle Plantation down in Louisiana.
Okay.
Back to Louisiana. No, it's basically just it's a long convoluted story that ends with a it's not my story not my time to tell, but do you want to hear this?
Yeah, no, this was more of me bringing a discussion topic because I didn't really know what else to talk about because I've been a little...
I just didn't want to steal your spotlight.
No. This was meant as a discussion topic, so please.
All right. So it's a slave plantation, right?
Okay.
And there is a particular slave who is the mistress of the plantation owner, i.e. he sleeps with her without her consent because she is a slave and she cannot give consent at all, not unless she wants to. And she is she's caught for eavesdropping. And so the mistress of the house, like the wife, right? She has her ear cut off for eavesdropping, right?
Yeah.
So she starts wearing like a headdress, like a head wrap, I should say, to cover up the scar. Mm-hmm. And it's always described as a bright green turban.
Excuse me. Yeah.
And she eventually gets sick of it because she also had a child, and the child was sent away. It was like the one thing that she loved, right?
Yeah.
So she, so she ends up poisoning the wife, using oleander flowers in a cake. Which oleander flowers, if you don't know, highly poisonous.
Okay.
Very, very poisonous flowers. Beautiful, beautiful flowers. Very poisonous. And they love temperate climates. Very popular in Greece, as far as I know. Anyway, she puts them in the cake, and she poisons the wife. But she also poisons the daughter, who apparently had, like, seen her making the cake and saw her put the flowers in there or whatever. But it's suspicious, right?
Yeah.
So she's... At the funeral, she refuses to take off her turban because she doesn't want to, like, the scar to be shown. But, like, someone ends up... I think it's, like, the husband... the master of the house or whatever.
Yeah.
He basically, like, rips off the turban, and she, in her fit of rage, takes off one of the coverings on one of the mirrors and wraps it around, and it's accepted because it's like a black cloth, right?
Yeah.
And then the story goes that their souls were trapped in that mirror, and you could still see them. So, long convoluted story, but
yeah, spooky.
Spooky, yeah.
Or even there's the one of the ones that kind of makes me think of it is that Doctor Who episode with
The Tile?
No, not the tile. No. The one with the Family of Blood, where with Martha, they go back to, I think it was like the 1913 or so.
Okay.
And it's when the Doctor doesn't know he's the Doctor. He, like, has to hide himself in the watch.
When he falls in love,
yeah.
And Martha ends up dealing with a lot of
bullshit.
Racial bullshit.
Yeah. But in that one of the punishments he makes, because he punishes the whole family at the end. There's this family of 4 aliens. Without getting into too many details, but at the end...
Spoilers.
It's
been, like, 15 years.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It's been 15 years. Anyway.
Since that episode, probably 13, but yeah, still.
Probably 13, yeah. Like, it's been 15 years since the reboot, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, so the punishment he comes up for the daughter is he traps her in a mirror, and so it's, like, tells the story of, like, if you ever see a little something out the corner of your eye in a mirror, that's her.
Yeah, I think I remember why I don't remember that episode now. Hachimachi.
Yeah, so then a lot of, I don't know if it's religions or cultures or spiritual beliefs, but yeah, they're often seen as portals, whether it's for ghosts to get through, or to the underworld, or to some other dimension.
Well, like, black mirrors were always used in scrying, right?
So that's I was going to bring those up, too. In magic and such. And, yeah. So.
Yeah. I have one mirror in my place, and it is in my bathroom for grooming. Luna, what are you growling at? No, like, that's, like, one of my touchstones is, like, the scrying thing.
Mm-hmm.
Big, big touchstone. But I also used to, like, see things in mirrors. That was, like, probably... Like, that was probably, like, one of the more accepted things, I would say. It was, like, I see things in mirrors, and, like... I don't know. I had this... When I was,
Tell me what you would see in mirrors. If you feel comfortable.
No, it's like
or what?
Indistinct.
Yeah.
It was always, like, the feeling like you were looking at... Not quite like I wasn't looking at my own face, but, like, there was a face over top of my face.
Ooh.
You know?
Sure.
So it was almost gave the impression that when you look at, like, you're looking through a mirror, but it's not a mirror, it's like a glass, and then there's someone's face placed really close to the glass, so you superimposed your face over theirs.
Yeah.
I got that a lot. And then
is spooky.
There was always, like, in the corners and stuff like that, and that the impression that if I, like, turned around, I would see something that I couldn't see in the mirror, or vice versa. Like, and I don't know how much of that has actually been just, like, parabolia, and how much of that is actually, like, spooky shit.
Yeah.
Because, like, I grew up in a haunted house, so I kind of just accepted, like, I grew up in many haunted houses, so I just kind of accepted, like, this is probably just a thing, but, like, in context of, like, being more adult and more accepting of myself, that maybe it's something more, I don't know, but, like, it happened more often than not, so I only have one mirror in my house now.
I do have one in my room, but I, like, absolutely cannot have it facing my bed. I was reading on that, and it's actually also just what's called bad feng shui.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm not sure how much of that would be, like, due to, like, I'm not sure of the details of feng shui. Like, I don't know how it's determined. But, like, it'd be cool to see, like, if that's because of these, like, paranormal beliefs.
Could be.
And influenced by that kind of, those beliefs, or if it's just something else, whatever it's based on. I'm not sure what it's based on.
I think, isn't feng shui, like, supposed to be, like, a Taoist thing?
Yeah, it's like how the energy flows through a room, so it probably would be partially due to those kinds of beliefs. But yeah, it's especially there's my one friend's house in Toronto. She has these closets, and it's a pretty small apartment, as one has in Toronto. And whenever I go and crash there, I sleep on the couch, and the couch is in the living room, and behind it there are closet doors, like front hall closet, laundry, whatever, and all the doors are just entire mirrors.
Don't like, wait, all?
They're just mirror doors.
Don't like that.
Yeah, I hate every time. That's the one thing I don't like about staying at her house. Her apartment is lovely. However, every time I sleep there, I, like, have to be very conscious of the fact that I do not, like, I need to stay behind this couch, like, the couch back kind of separates it, and I need to stay behind that back, and I cannot look over at them while I'm sleeping, because it freaks me out so much, because it's like, you're at your most vulnerable state when you're asleep, so, like, I think there's, like,
don't like that.
No, there's, like, not theories, but there's, beliefs that, like, your soul could get trapped while you're asleep, almost like the death thing, I think.
But, like, more in line towards astral projecting. But then
and then you get stuck.
I play my trap card on on your sleeping soul.
Pretty much. Or, like, things could obviously, like, come out and, like, get you while you're asleep. You know, you're
Sorry, I'm a little uneasy, so I'm just reacting.
Yeah, fair. It's an uneasy topic. Like, there's just something about them that just kind of gets in you.
Yeah. I had my room at my dad's, when I had a room at my dad's before I moved up here, I had, like, a full standing mirror, right? Yeah. It was, like, one of those ones that you, like, twirled around on its stand.
Oh.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. And I had to have it, like, facing away.
Yeah.
Right? And ironically, I had it set up so I had, like, my bed by the window, underneath the window. Mm-hmm. I would have, oh Jesus, I had another mirror on the wall. I'm just realizing this, but it was, like, on the wall over there, and I couldn't see it at all unless I was like coming into the room.
Yeah,
which was fine. And then there was, like, on the far end there was, like, the wardrobe, and then there was the mirror there, and so, like, the mirror was kind of stable, so it was, like, almost like a little changing area. And I could not change in front of that mirror. Because, yeah, for more than just, like, spooky reasons, I also had a lot of body issues growing up. And I'm trans, so it's a little more expected if you, like, look at it under that. But I also had, like, eating things. So, yeah. It was, like, a whole stew of mess.
Yeah.
But I had this mirror, and it's beautiful. It looked really, really Victorian kind of style. And I think I slept once with it, like, facing my bed before I realized, oh, I can't do that. And it was not a good sleep, not a good time, because I had, like, a four-poster bed.
Yeah.
With black sheer curtains.
Yeah.
Delightful, beautiful.
Sounds like.
My dad was very indulgent. I was his only, like, child that lived with him that he could raise and take care of. So he spoiled me a lot. Yeah. And he got me this huge four-poster bed. And when I moved out, he appropriated that bed for him and his wife.
Fair. I would too.
Yeah. And so it was, like, this white bed, white pillows, white thing, black sheer curtains. The walls were black with white trim. Because I was going through my goth phase.
Hell yeah.
And he was like, I'm not going to paint this entirely black, but I will, like, let you do the black thing, but it will have white trim.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not going to do it completely black, you're not going to live in a black cave.
Yeah.
But you're going to have this. But, like, when you have the black walls, and there's only one window, and you're right in front of the window with the black sheer curtains basically acting as your curtains.
Yeah.
But they're sheer, so they still let light in.
Yeah.
But they only let light onto you.
Yeah.
And then you're, like, in this little cocoon of sheer silk, not quite silk, but like,
Yeah.
And you can't really see anything outside of it. When you do see things outside of it, they become worse.
Yeah.
Now, this is not a spooky story necessarily,
Okay.
as far as I know, because there was a lot of spooky shit that happened in that house too. But this, I woke up in the middle of the night, as I am occasionally wont to do. It was very quiet. And this is not out of the ordinary. It was a very quiet neighborhood. It was an old military base out in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So what you would get occasionally is you get a train going by, you'd get some dogs barking, occasionally you get a car. In the middle of the day, you would get some kids laughing at the park, like a couple blocks over. That's it. That's all you would really get for noise.
Yeah.
I woke up to a sound that I still can't quite describe. And I don't know if that was, like, just me in my dream waking myself up,
Mm-hmm.
or if that was, like, an external noise. And then I rolled over, and through my curtains, I could see... Well, basically, I could see my mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And I was not sitting up, but it was like someone was sitting up, looking at the mirror through the sheer.
How is that not spooky? Excuse me. That is extremely spooky.
Well, in like telling it out loud, I'm like, it's kind of spooky. I think I like just kind of convinced myself it was like, oh, I was sitting up instead of lying down, and obviously I could see myself sitting up. It was like I was looking at myself sitting up,
Oh my
but
God,
I was
feel like I'm gonna throw up. I hate that so much.
So I rolled back over and put my blankets over my bed. I was very convinced that nothing could get through the curtains to get at me. It was like a bigger protection of just like, nothing can get you under the blanket.
Yeah.
Nothing can get me past these curtains.
Yeah.
So I had to wait till daylight because my lamp was outside the curtains.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that.
Whew.
Do you want to hear another spooky story about that house?
Give me a minute.
Yep.
That is exactly what I am afraid of. If I were to have a mirror facing me while I was asleep, is even just like thinking of waking up and seeing yourself when you wake up, because for a second when you
don't recognize yourself.
you don't
right
recognize
away.
yourself, and you kind of just see movement.
Yeah.
But if you wake up and see something that's not you sitting up in your bed,
it was like I don't know, man. It was literally just like I was where I was, exactly how I was, but I was sitting up instead of lying down like I knew I was.
But that's still, like, even if that were a dream, that is still freaky.
It wasn't great. So after that, I kind of, like, angled it away, and then I was just like, cool, I'm fine, this is fine. That house after dark was, like, pretty whack.
Do you still have access to that house?
I do. My stepmom still lives there.
That should be one of our stop. Well, obviously, because
Yeah.
you're going to want to see your stepmom. But
Yeah,
like,
definitely. I want to visit my stepmom.
could you imagine if we did a spirit box in that house?
I'm
Scared?
I'm not entirely certain that would be a good idea, but I'm willing to try.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I don't know if I can't remember if we mentioned in this episode yet or not.
oh, we haven't.
Okay.
we
we
tried
got-
a spirit box experiment. We tried the Estes method, which is a specific method of spirit box communication, where you have like your spirit box, the RS7 spirit box. Although this is where I'm like, we kind of tried the Estes method, where it's like we
had
used an app.
We're too poor for that right now.
At the moment. We'll get one eventually, but
Yeah.
as a trial run, we were like, let's just try this app and see how it worked. And we got some interesting results. I want to double try that again just to verify, but I also kind of like want to give it some more time before we do that again.
Yeah,
'Cause it was-
we needed to take a minute from it.
It was interesting.
Yeah,
But yeah.
there was because then it wasn't a lot in the moment per se.
But like afterwards when we were like reviewing it, and like it was a lot afterwards.
Yeah, because we were able to analyze.
Analyze and like look at this and like wait a second and
Whew.
hachi machi.
No kidding.
It was a lot. Adele might have some fairies. I might have gotten in contact with my dad.
Yeah, like legit
Chris got
fairies.
Chris
got cursed out by a racist ghost in my house.
Racist ghost. Like there was like a lot of like racial slurs being thrown around at Chris. It was not great. To the point where we were just going bad word and then writing down bad word.
Yeah, like I mentioned how there's that used to be that biker gang place. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that was like in the 60s or 70s. I wouldn't be surprised if they were also racist.
Yeah, probably. Like, honestly, I don't know. I don't know enough about race. I don't know enough about biker gangs in the 70s and 60s.
Me neither, but like, I don't know. Maybe that's a total
Why are you growling?
stereotype, but maybe there weren't, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if they were, considering they were very, from what I hear, into some very bad shit.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Right, so where were we?
Let's tell me words.
I will tell you words.
Tell me words.
Alatrician.
Ooh.
Envoy. Podge. Luster.
Your second.
Assemble. Sorry, go on. Yeah,
I got raspberries and fed my dog.
Not in that order.
Yeah, you're right. You're gonna tell me about the second story about mirrors that you have.
I think we covered all my stories, actually. It's mostly just, like, weird shit in the back of the mirror. I had another story about my dad, but we were, like, gonna save that for...
Oh, but did it have to do with mirrors?
No.
Oh.
It was just... My dad had a habit of not wanting to believe in things.
Sorry, Oh my god. There's a ball of yarn next to me that just fell onto me.
It's okay. It's okay.
And I just didn't know it was there until it was. And then, first of all, it fell onto the floor and it was like, it's this dark pink and it was on the ground and I was like, something just touched my elbow and there's nothing around.
I could see her soul leaving her body.
I've been in a real jumping mood today. Even I was reading about the mirror stuff a little bit before Nick got here, just to remind myself of some stuff or see if there's any interesting stuff I could find that I didn't already know. And Nick knocked on my door, and for half a second, even though they texted me, and I knew they were like 2 minutes away, knocked on the door for a second, and I had a mini heart attack. I've just been extremely jumpy recently.
You're so valid.
But
you know what? Sometimes you just gotta jump at shadows.
Just jump at shadows.
Just jump at those shadows.
Look at those spikes. Those audio spikes.
Oh, I love those spikes. Hot. Anyway. I use that way too much for someone who's asexual.
Something can be hot even if you're asexual.
I mean, you're right. You're right. This is completely off topic, but you're right.
Hell yeah. Keep that in, baby.
Baby. We're doing a good job. We've covered all of it. End goals. End reviews. End reviews of mirrors. Out of 10, how would you rate the mirror you have in your room?
Extremely dirty. Out of
10?
10.
Out of 10. Extremely dirty out of 10.
Yeah.
Very good.
No, I do have it very much not pointed towards me. Like, it's not even close to being towards me during while I sleep. And I haven't had a bad experience with it yet.
There you go. That's all you can ask, really.
So hopefully that continues. Sometimes it will slightly freak. It's honestly just laying in bed freaks me out more, because there's just so much empty space in my room. Not empty space. So there.
It's called oxygen. You need it to breathe.
So, I don't have doors on my closet, so I'll be laying in bed, and it took a long time for me to get used to that once I did that, but there's just a lot of space that's just dark in my room at night, because I sleep near the window, so it usually has some sort of light coming in from there, and I'll be laying there, and I'll, for some reason, have something freaky in my brain and be like, just don't open your eyes. Just don't open your eyes. There will not be a face in the darkness looking at you from across the room. And you're fine.
And then there's, like, how much of that is parabolia and how much of that is just something that is there.
Yeah, even if I don't see anything, sometimes I can't, that's why I'm bad at telling if things are real, because I don't see a lot, but I feel a lot, and I can't tell if it's anxiety or something's actually freaking me out.
That's fair. So it's tough, but it's tough.
How about you? How would you rate mirrors? Your mirror experience?
How's
the mirror in your new place?
The one in my bathroom is also a medicine cabinet, so it opens. It's on a hinge.
Yeah.
So I would rate that a 2. I would rate that a 2 out of 10 because it does its job and it has space underneath it, but it squeaks to all hell. And sometimes when I move it, I have that moment of that horror movie moment of like, if I put this back, there might be something behind me.
Yeah.
So far hasn't. That's why it's not a 1.
Yeah.
But
you should get some WD-40 on that bad boy.
Definitely needs that. My apartment is shitty and needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it has laundry machine right there that I don't have to pay to use. So.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's ridiculous how important laundry can be in terms of when you have to pay, for it. It's the worst fucking thing.
Well, when I had no money and I was living in my other place, I did my laundry by hand in my bathtub.
Yeah.
Because I did not want, one thing, I couldn't really put that money towards that when I was like, I could put this to food or bus fare.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, but I'm also like, I'm capable, but also like my clothes are much cleaner than they were before. Like, you can wash them, hand wash them. It's not as effective.
No, it's really not. Yeah.
I washed my rabbit and he was fluffy. Dr. Pebbles Butterscotch, PhD.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So, I guess that's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
So,
if I end up dying from having said a certain name and too many times during this episode,
I think we'll hear about it on the news.
Well, you never know with the news these days.
This is true.
Nick will have to inform y'all that I fucking died. But I'm sure I'll be fine.
But did you die?
Not yet. So,
So far, so good.
That patch you literally got me today, what is it?
I'll make it out of this alive.
Yeah. I'll make it out of this alive. I'll fight Bloody Mary. Woof.
Now we really would, if that happened, we would be on an episode of Supernatural.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm working myself up. I started going to a kickboxing class, and my knuckles are starting to hurt a little bit, so I just like, imagined in my head just seeing her and just punching the fucking mirror.
Hell yeah.
Whew!
Just put some salt near your bed, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, I've got salt lamps.
Oh, there you go.
I've got a big one on my nightside table and a little one.
Just put that right in front of your mirror, so if she comes through, she'll just, like, hit it and burn.
I could. You know what? Right now, it's just beside it, so I could put it right in front.
There you go. It'll be fun.
All right.
Yeah, so I guess we should end this.
Let's wrap her up, baby.
Baby! Okay.
Anyway. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to get in contact with us, if you want to send us an email and tell us about your favorite liminal space or how freaked out by mirrors you are.
Rate your mirrors in your house and tell us about them.
Take pictures of your mirror.
Please don't.
No, please don't.
Well, actually, if you want to.
That would be pretty freaky. They take pictures of their mirrors, rate them, send them to us, and then we say, this has a picture, this has a thing in it. And they're like, no, it doesn't, and then we're cursed.
Even better. Send us a picture of your mirror and we'll rate them for you.
Yeah. That's a good thing to do on an audio medium.
Can we do that? I want to do this. Can you please send us a picture of your mirror and we will rate them?
Yeah, we can figure out how to do that. We're
bonus episode.
Yeah, once we start our Patreon up,
We'll have a bonus episode of just rating mirrors if we get mirrors in. Listen, this is the caveat. If you send us mirrors, we will set up a Patreon bonus episode, low tier, rate mirrors.
Hell yeah. And also maybe spirit box stuff once we get that going, because that would be really fun.
That would be.
Anyways.
Yeah. We'll do more of that. But we will eventually, but yes. Anyway, so yeah, you can find me on the Twitters at arsenicinnules.
You can also find the show itself.
You can also follow. Listen, I'm more important.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. You can find the show Liminal Space Pod. Liminal Space.
Twitter is Space Pod.
Yeah, Twitter is Space Pod. Because it was too long with the S apparently.
Yeah, and Instagram is Liminal Spaces Pod.
But who cares about Instagram anyway?
Yeah. I've been on it less and less, or trying to.
Hell
because
yeah. You're an influencer now.
I'm an influencer. I mean, it may be not detrimental, it may be more effective if we, were to market ourselves more on social medias. But,
yeah, but who cares?
It's fine.
It's fine. We'll get people will listen to us eventually. We have like, my mom listens. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
So, like, what more do we need?
Yeah. What was I was going to say words. Oh, yeah. Sometimes I forget we're only 8 episodes in.
We need all of you. Please don't stop listening.
Please don't leave us. Please don't leave us.
Please.
Please.
Please. Please listen up.
Yeah, if you want to find me on Instagram, though, I'm at Adele Bernadette.
I forgot about it.
And my Twitter's at Adele_Palm. And,
or you could just listen to her music.
Apparently I'm coming out with new music later this year.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I've
worked so hard on it. I've become a single woman after being married. I have a child. It's been great.
Luna.
That was Luna. That was the weirdest moment. In high school, I remember I was like in a class sitting and it was before class, people were chatting, and all of a sudden I hear behind me, "Did you know Adele's pregnant?" And I'm like, "Excuse me?" And they were like, "Oh, no, the singer." And I'm like, okay, because that is a really weird rumor to hear about yourself literally behind you in a class. Anyways,
did you hear? Adele's pregnant.
Yeah, I don't even know if I was like in a relationship at the time too, and so just teenage pregnancy knocked me up.
High school be like though, honestly.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know what words I just said.
There.
It's fine.
So our intro and outro music has been Into the Woods by Purple Planet Music.
Yeah.
And I think we hit that up.
Hit it up, baby.
Log it in. You can find Chris somewhere around in the universe. I'm sure you can track him down. He's still out there.
We're still plugging him even though he's not here.
Why not?
Yeah.
He hates it.
I've been Adele.
I've been Nick.
And we'll see you next time.
In the liminal spaces.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Nailed it!
Kept going and it wasn't recording. It's recording now.
It's recording now.
It's recording now. Please, sir, can you record now?
Well, that's a lot to ask of my computer. She's been extremely temperamental lately.
She old, man.
Yeah, she's getting up there.
Sometimes when you're old, all you can do is make everyone else inconvenienced.
Oh my god.
That is going to be my entire goal. When I am an old person, I'm just going to be an inconvenience to everyone. And it's going to be on purpose.